If only so many people realized how social media is actually so easy to manage, life would be so easy. And in this video, I'm going to give you a complete guide on how you can manage your social media content from ideation all through to publication and ensuring that you get a huge following in the long run. And by the way, the following is not important to you if there is no conversion at the end of the day, because you need to get engagement in terms of the product or services that you're trying to promote out there. People need to engage with those particular products or services, and then they need to convert in that they should buy, they should either subscribe, they should either, at least communicate. That is the ideal result that you want at the end of the day, because you're not creating content just for entertainment. You're creating content that is impactful, that is touching an audience, and it's actually making them to react with that particular product or services in a way. So join me in this short video as I give you a brief guide on how you can do your social media content. So everything starts with 3. Not everything. Well, in social media, you have to have these 3 things in mind. One is objectivity of your content. What are your ideal objectives of this particular content that you're creating? If you don't have any objective, just passive content for entertainment, then that is also good, because people have stress. You can entertain them and then they can just pass by. But if you have an ideal objective that you want to be making people happy, that is your objective, that is your goal. All content that you're creating needs to be geared towards that particular goal of yours. An objective is ultimately the goal of or the result. Your objective is to get conversion rates increased. That's why you see every time you post a video on TikTok and you want to promote it, they ask you for the objective. 3 things. Do you want more engagement? Do you want leads? Or do you want more followers? Those are just objectives. So you're promoting your content. The same strategy applies to every content, whether you're promoting it or not. You need to have an objective at the end of the day. What are you trying to communicate to people? So that is number 1. Number 2, and actually before I move to the number 2, you need to understand that your content needs to be adding value to the audience that are actually watching you. If you don't have any value addition of your content, in the long run, people will move to other places where they are actually getting something in return for their time, because you can only convert time with value. So the second thing is target audience, and I've already talked about target audience in depth in the playlist of content creation. If you've not watched it, it's in the I pinned it somewhere in this video. So when it comes to target audience, you need to understand that scripting is the most important thing about target audience, because scripting is about storytelling. You are communicating this information to human beings, and human beings relate to stories. I've been saying this over and over again, because you're talking to people, you're not talking to animals. So when you talk to people, give them realistic stories that they can be able to actually relate to, so that they can be able to connect. That's why you see brand ambassadors or influencers. When you put influencers to promote your product, you are not promoting your product just because the product is good. You're promoting the product using these people because they are credible voices. They are people who other people already know. So if they say that this product is good, then they're actually verifying you in the community. So that's why you need to understand that people need things that they can relate to, things that they are familiar to. If you miss that in your content, then you're actually losing out in the long run, right? So stories that people can relate to in terms of scripting is very important. Then when you come to scripting, there is that arc of tension, which is in the long format content creation, which is in documentaries, in podcasts, when you're interviewing people. That is just a whole lot of, format that you need to also understand, because scripting is at the center of content creation. If you don't script, then you don't have control of the narrative. You need to have control of the narrative, and that is only achieved by scripting properly. And scripting, you have 3 sections. You have the hook, you have the tension building in the story, where you put the problem, and then you put the solution, and then you put the call to action. So actually there are 4 or 3. So you have the hook, you have the content part in the body, which is the problem, the solution, and then the call to action. So for example, you want to promote a product on, healthy diets, vegan kind of product, and you have to give a hook that is relatable to people. So you need to look at the target audience, their problems that they can relate to, that this product of yours is actually intending to solve. So when you do that, you give that problem, and then you give the solution that is this product. And then you go to the call to action, whereby you're telling people that to get this product, you can come to our shop. To get this product, you can call us on this particular line. Only those 4 things, if you put them in that particular story, then you are able to actually get some engagement. And of course, you need to boost the content, because nowadays, target audience, you need to also understand that you're looking at the demographics of people. You are specifically targeting a particular person because that is the niche that you want to target them with this product, content, article, anything that you want to target. So you need to profile this particular person. You can become an FBI in this particular scenario, because you need to understand who you are serving with this content of yours. You need to know where they're coming from, their experiences, their biases, their beliefs, so that you don't get to hurt them. Yeah, sometimes you might post content thinking that is entertainment content, but you're actually hurting feelings of people, and you get reactions from that. It can be negative reactions because you did not understand the community that you're communicating to. And then the other thing is also platform mastery. The content you create for LinkedIn is different from the content. You cannot start, cross-posting the same content, and, you need to repurpose that content to meet the type of audience that are in that particular platform. So YouTube, for example, lengthy videos. You don't want to put lengthy videos on platforms like TikTok because of audience retention rate. We know that the audience retention rate is less than 10% of the total duration of your video. So you need to know that when you post any video, you actually know that you put hooks, you put engaging stories, realistic things that people can actually relate to, so that they can be able to watch that video in the long run. So that is good for YouTube. If you come to TikTok, you need to get some short videos. That's the vibe for YouTube Shorts that they copied from TikTok, because of that virality. People want that. They don't have that time, that attention span is not a luxury that people entertain. So if you have that platform mastery, you're guaranteed that the content you're posting is actually going to grow. Otherwise, you will waste a lot of time just by posting the same content on all the platforms without understanding these metrics that are affecting each particular platform. How is your thumbnail? TikTok, when you post a video on TikTok, there is that, the template that is there. You just go and put your topic or your subject or your headline there, and then there is that template that is there. And TikTok put that because they believe that when you use that uniformity, because you're using their platform, they're using their technology, you're using their editing platform to do that it's going to boost, the algorithm is going to understand that particular thing. But now we have AI, a lot of AI technology is being integrated in this platform, so you don't need to use that particular template because it's so boring. Be creative, be unique, use your own style to look uniform. In that, when we come to your social media account, we see the uniformity, you see the alignment of professionalism that you've actually put in. There is a lot of effort in that, and that is only professionalism. You cannot do that with basic tools. You need to understand thumbnail design. You can hire a graphic designer for that instance, or you can as well just invest in learning Photoshop. Nowadays Adobe has a lot of free options where you can be able to do that, or you can look for alternatives. You can even use Canva to do that thumbnail design and get a nice simple design. And also in that particular thumbnail, you need to understand that when you design a thumbnail, the title of that thumbnail has to be very short, limited to 6 words, because the more you put the words, the lesser the audience is going to understand what you actually meant. Don't explain your content in the thumbnail. Put suspense. Ask a question. Let people, when they read that thumbnail, they have to ask themselves a question. What is this content actually about? Don't explain, because if you put everything there, then I don't have time to just, watch that. It might be boring, But if you put a thumbnail that is intriguing me, I'll be, I'll just be tempted to watch that particular video. So specifically for Instagram, TikTok, in Facebook, you need to put location hashtags because they enhance visibility of your content in that particular location. You should actually understand that TikTok, whenever you put your SIM card in your phone, because TikTok is usually a mobile application. If you use it on a computer, then you're missing out on other features, multiple features. So when you put TikTok in your mobile phone and then you put the SIM card, it has already registered that particular country of that SIM card. So your content is easily distributed in line with that particular location, because that is metadata that is actually in your mobile phone that is transferred in the to the platform. So location is very important because it enhances the virality or visibility of your content to the target audience in that particular location. Facebook, when you're posting, you need to know that Facebook is all about fun and emotions. You should also put emojis in the title. It enhances that, happy mood or somber mood. That's why you see those emojis on Facebook. You see you have the like, love, laugh. All those emojis are there to enhance the virality of the particular content that you're posting. So if it's business type, you should put the emojis that are related to that particular business. If it's product or service, in line with that particular that thing. So it's very important to do that. Another thing is using hashtags in the titles of a Facebook video. Don't, but you can put it in the description because that's good. You can also understand when you go to the meta analytics, you will be able to see what is the best time to post that particular content. What is the best time that your audience on your channel or your platform actually are interacting with the videos that you're posting or the post that you're posting. So that particular time is the time that you actually estimate within this duration of time we have active people engaging with our content. So post that time so that you can get an increased engagement of content there. So we've talked about objectivity of your content, we've talked about target audience, and also we've talked about platform mastery. We've also gone ahead to understand something called thumbnail design, which is specific to the platform that you're posting. When you're creating content, create content that has value, because people want value at the end of the day. Because if you give them good content, they will give them a lot of time. They will spend a lot of time. You're teaching them, you're entertaining them, give them value, let them learn something at the end of the day. Don't just give them comedy that doesn't have any impact in their lives, that doesn't have any moral value that they're adding. They're not learning anything. You're not teaching them anything. You're not selling them anything that's going to improve their lives. You're not educating them and you're not informing them of anything that is impacting their lives. So you're just wasting their time. So please create content that has the objective of impacting people's lives. Yeah, that is content for good. People will be staying on your channel, I promise you. And then the other thing is target your audience to that specific niche that you see is not yet reached with this particular information. So because I don't think there is content that is content for everybody. You need to create content for a specific audience, content that targets a specific audience, so that when you try to sell something to those people, higher conversion rates will be automatic, right? Another thing is platform mastery. Those three things, just master them and you'll be good in social media. See you again in the next video. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, just do that, because you'll be missing out a lot if you don't subscribe.